am one of the 5 leading world experts on bottom centimeter plant root and how water moves in that bottom centimeter to grow. That's the only part I'm an expert on. It's just that part. So that is what I spent 6 years of my life studying. And today, what I'm going to talk to you about is part of what got me into a PhD in applied mathematics, and that is mathematical biology. Because to me, what it finally did is it bridged all of the things I loved. I never wanted to decide chemistry. I didn't want to decide physics. I didn't want to decide math. I wanted to do all of them. And so this pulled it all together for me as one picture, something that took everything that I loved and let me do a little bit of everything. And so, the question to get you started today that I give you is tomorrow you are all graduating from high school. So if you're giving this problem to your students, it's a little bit more appropriate for you. Think back. You're graduating from high school tomorrow. You're very excited. When you open one of your graduation cards from a friend to find you, they gave you a gift of rabbits from Heifer International. Has anyone heard of Heifer International before? I saw this hand first, so I'm going to ask. Can you describe? Think about if you've heard of it, and if you could describe what Heifer International does. Sure. Yeah.
So Heifer International purchases varieties of livestock, shares those with people in the U.S. as well as developing countries. Rabbits might actually be a U.S.-based gift. All the way from rabbits and chickens and ducks to water buffalo. And but they're given not so that you eat the 2 rabbits, but begin a program of breeding rabbits and eating and furrying and whatever else one might do with rabbits.
Exactly. Does anyone have anything they could add to this? That was very thorough. So Heifer International, you usually hear about them, I would say the most probably around Christmas, but I actually heard about them first when I was in high school, graduating, and so this is not that you all of a sudden are going to get a gift of rabbits popped on your front doorstep, but that in your name, someone that needs them is going to get a pair of rabbits. And they're going to raise these rabbits. Along with the rabbits, they're going to get trained on how to raise these rabbits. And with the idea that they will be able to take, and then as the rabbits grow and breed, they can share those rabbits with other people in the community in which they live. And they'll train those people on how to take and raise these rabbits. So it's a gift that keeps on giving. They're supposed to, for every rabbit they keep, they're supposed to share one with their community. And so it's a gift that really should grow. And so that's what my question is for you today. How many people in your community that is going to receive these rabbits are going to benefit from this one-time gift of a pair of rabbits by the time you graduate from college?
4 years graduating from college.
Oh my gosh, that's a great question!
That was my first question.
6 years.
4 years. 6 years.
How many years, and what's the breeding cycle of a rabbit?
Every 28 days they have 2 loads, they have 2 litters of
Is that for true, for real?
Yes.
Every 28 days. And I thought
Let's
that,
say it, man. Let's just say it.
I just thought that was made up though.
Yeah, and they have 2 loads, they can be pregnant with 2 different litters at the same time.
Are you serious?
And what's the average litter size?
Lisa's had 2 litters of 4 in each. That's what I was going to say. How many does each, are we assuming each rabbit pair has 2 rabbits? Or we just had a mama had 4 babies and then she came to us pregnant. 4 babies and then 28 days later 4 more babies. We didn't know she was
How many in
pregnant.
each litter?
2.
How many or how often on the litters? Okay. Are they going to eat any of them? You want zombie rabbits?
Percentage are eating versus breeding.
2 rabbits, but you're not guaranteed always a male and female,
Yes,
right?
The breeding pair.
Well,
No,
the
breeding pair
original
give you but the
pair.
offspring.
Oh, correct.
You
Right.
could have like 2 females and then another 2 females and another 2
You only need
females
one
and
male,
then,
you speak males.
right?
Yeah, in fact, in both of her litters, interestingly, she had 3 females and then the other was 2.
But you only need to keep a couple males. You need roughly.
Right, but if you think about the consequences of the issue,
Oh.
you won't always have a breeding pair.
And what are the different ways to benefit from the gift?
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Define the
Meat, fur. What else can you get for
happiness,
Fur. No.
companionship.
warmth?
Either watch rabbits.
Nowhere.
Yeah, Angora rabbits.
So, his question about males made me think about, I hope rabbits are entirely different than humans, and it's okay for different generations to have sex together, so that if you got one pair with a male, is that one male, is it allowed to impregnate?
You can
Does that cause bad mutations or stuff like that?
What does the rabbit have to pair up? Gross.
Hopefully it doesn't cause enough
inbreeding.
inbreeding.
It can.
What's my food source?
And you guys have lots of questions.
Well, it depends on what they're eating, so how often they're really, I mean, they can breed every 28 days, but food source is gonna have an impact on how often they breed.
So this is where I gotta turn you around. We heard some numbers. So I heard how many are in each litter? We heard 28 days as an estimate. Or no.
Let's go for 1 month, makes it easier.
How many in each litter did she say, 2 or 4?
Well, I mean, they can have.
Let's say 3. Yeah, how long do they have to be to breed?
4 months.
Ah, so there's the myth of the Fibonacci numbers, says that they only have to be like a month old, right? So they have to be 4
I
months
think
old.
they're 3 or 4 months.
Okay.
Longer delay.
So with this, I'm just gonna give you a minute or two. Confirm your favors. How often? What sort of math could you use to figure this out? And don't use math that you know. Find a pattern. Work backwards. Joy, can you hear me? Did you get checked out?
Yeah,
You can sit.
checking them every morning.
You're all set? Okay. This is yeah. So Joy,
Hey,
okay.
Marianne,
So
how old
I
do they
hear
have to be to
this
leave
is a
their
great
mamas?
idea. We want to make
When do
it
they stop
simpler.
nursing?
How can we make this
Mom?
problem simpler?
We'll say 4 years.
They start on 4 years.
So the ones I got for a gift are probably at least 3 months old.
Yeah, 1 month.
Since we were talking decades, we were worried about zombie rabbits. So we don't have
Nobody gets eaten.
nobody gets eaten. So if you worked those numbers out, give me an estimate. What does your gut tell you? Just looking at these things. A whole bunch.
2,253.
2,253.
But that's odd.
That's okay, I mean, a different assumption.
Now I need to take a step back. 2,253 what?
Families, those aren't the number of rabbits, those are the number of families.
Huh? Where did the number come from? Sorry.
Just guess.
Just a guess.
Oh, we're guessing.
We're just doing gut.
Depends how many
Gut
families will benefit or how many rabbit families you will get.
Well, let's see here. You brought that up. Now,
I put it on the website.
What's the breeding life of a pair of rabbits? My rabbits start breeding. How long do they live?
They can live to 10.
I don't know, all of ours are spayed.
Longer than 4 years.
Okay, good, so my first batch is on, but it's stopped.
Rabbits, divide that by 2, I guess.
that families or rabbits?
That's
One, two,
families.
that's a pair.
The one I calculated.
You got family, you need two,
So,
or two offspring.
No, this would be like the family benefits from 2 rabbits.
families,
So
benefits.
Oh,
if you
I
multiply
see.
that by 2, that'll be the number of rabbits.
Okay.
Yeah, what if your rabbit has 4 and you keep one pair and leave one pair?
But,
Then your pair.
but we're assuming that each offspring is 2.
So somebody else give me another number. Another number, just to feel.
But I got 2 to start with.
You started with 2. Okay, you got 2. They didn't like each other. They didn't want to breed. Started off with 2. We ended with 2 rabbits, and so therefore that gave us 1 family that benefited. So right away I can see one way that we can take and simplify this problem. Oh man, which is writing, you can't ever do that. So one way that we can simplify this problem is instead of taking and looking at the families that benefited, it seems like everyone's really more focused on the number of rabbits. So maybe like we look at that problem, we model that problem, and then from there we go back and try to understand how that influences the families. And for your students, when they're working on this problem, if you are to give them, that's what they won't even think about the families. I cushioned this in families and they're like, oh, whatever, rabbits. So give me a number that you think some of your students are going to throw out.
1 million.
Give me another number. If somebody says 1 million, what will the next person say?
1 billion.
1 billion! 1 trillion. Okay. So my question for you all is applied mathematical biology. We live in the real world, and what I love about mathematical biology is you can always take a step back and look at your answer and see, is this a real world answer? So if every 2 rabbits after 4 years produced 1 billion rabbits, what would the world look like? My favorite response to that I've ever gotten was rabbits would be telling us what to do. So, granted, they may be brainwashing us. As far as you know, are rabbits telling you what to do today? So maybe we need to take a step back and come back and look at our math, look at our assumptions, and take and reevaluate and reapproach this problem. Do some more problem solving, do a little bit more thinking about the problem. And so that is my quick introduction to mathematical biology, is that there is tons of these problems all around you, cushioned in real world, but then really what we want to focus on is using the mathematics that you know. It seemed like everyone was approaching it a little bit. So you were making assumptions. That's an important part of doing applied mathematics. You're taking and looking at the data and saying that you don't care if it's 6 years or 4 years or 3 years, or in my grandmother's case, 58 years between when you started college, graduated high school, and finished college. What you care about is that you want an estimate on how the benefits is. Okay? So you start to make simplifications, you simplify, you make assumptions, and you really look at the real world. If we had a trillion,
So we would all have like a couple of rabbits. That's every single person in the world.
I wouldn't survive that long. My face would be so broken out, and then I wouldn't be able to breathe. But yes, if I had to have 10 rabbits, I think, yeah, or 100 rabbits, 1,000 rabbits. So what are ways, if we can't see 1,000 rabbits, how do we influence that? What do we need to add to that model? Eat them. Some of them need to die.
Well, you know, the first pair that breeds, that produces rabbits are not the same way.
think about when I first put together this problem. I grew up in Idaho, which meant that I definitely had friends that were in 4-H and raised rabbits. I was definitely allergic to rabbits, and we raised rabbits. So we had an intuition for rabbits. I played with rabbits. My eyes all scratch and puff up, but I still love rabbits. But at the same time, how many of your students have ever had rabbits? Right? You've had rabbits in your classroom, so this may be a great problem for your classroom. But it's something that I really want to take, and that I found out in teaching mathematical biology, is that it's very important that if students haven't had experience with this, that you need to introduce them to the topic. And that's where it can be a great sort of topic where it blends both your science experience and your mathematics experience together in a really rewarding experience, as opposed to just sort of expecting that they're going to understand what rabbits are. So that's something that I hadn't expected, and that definitely also is going to influence the next problem we're going to work on today. Which the next problem we're going to work on is modeling a deer population. About half of your students will have seen deer before. Another half of your students will have not seen deer before. And I'm not saying that in a given classroom, I'm just saying out of all of us in this room, about half of our students and half of us won't. This surprised me because I did this problem initially in Oakland, where there's deer a mile away from where some of these kids have lived. But some of them had never actually experienced deer before. So again, it's sort of, you know your classroom, you know the materials that your students have been exposed to, but this problem just didn't work as well in inner city Oakland or inner city San Francisco. So, but I think it's an important problem, and it's really fun to play. So I'm just saying that you can do it, but you have to scaffold it a little bit for your students. So, problem I'm going to do is about deer population models. You guys like the yellow or the white chalk? Doesn't really matter. Hard. Yeah, so deer are awesome. Just a second, coming back. So, what I want to talk about today is a specific deer population. And so this population was actually part of the Grand Canyon National Game Preserve, which was set aside by President Roosevelt as part of creating the national park system. And what basically they found is that there is this area in Arizona, northwestern Arizona, that there's a plateau. And on it, or and around it, there was a deer population that had become genetically isolated from the surrounding deer population, surrounding deer population. And they really wanted to take and preserve this population. And so what they did is they created a hunting reserve, so no hunting, but then also they took away all of the national predators from them. So they took out cougars, they took out coyotes, they took out all of the livestock, so they took out stock ranging and grazing in the area. And what we're going to talk about today is how they could have used math to understand how this was a really, really bad idea. And it led to a very merely designed, basically in their attempt to save it, they pretty much almost destroyed it. But, and we're going to do that with a really fun game. So, this game is called Oh Deer. How many people have played this before? Okay. So, I can't take credit for this. I got this from well. How the game goes is that you have two groups. We're going to split the group into two groups. One of the group is going to be deer. And if you're a deer and you want to survive to the next year, what do you need if you're out in the environment? What do you need to survive?
Water.
You need food, water, shelter. You guys are good. It's like a crime jam. So food, water, shelter. And so the deer, they want to survive, and so they're going to look into their environment, which is the other half of the group. And they are going to look and see if they can find those elements in the environment to survive. If they find the elements, then they pull that part out of the environment and join it to the deer group. And they reproduced. They made baby deer. They survived to the next year. If they didn't find the part that they needed to survive for the winter, they didn't find the food they needed, the water they wanted, or the shelter that they needed, what's going to happen? They're going to die. But this is a happy situation where they join the environment. And then next year, maybe they can help another young deer survive and make it to the next year. Okay? So again, two groups. One set is the deer. Another set is the environment. And what I would very much like to do is I'm going to keep track. In year one, how many deer did we start off with? And how does this take and change? So,
And does every deer have to have all three pieces?
no, it just has to find one. So we're going to face the wall, pick your sign, turn around, look and see if you can find, and then we're going to walk without using our elbows or tripping anyone or hitting anyone. And we're going to find and slowly walk over back to the other side with our partner part of the environment.
Do we get to pick our part of the environment then?
The one so the environment gets to pick their parts, the deer gets to pick their parts, and then
They have to match up.
Show the three signs again.
so food, water, shelter. Food, water, shelter.
But they want to survive.
Maybe, but maybe, before lunch, the deer are all going to be hungry, or maybe right now everyone's thirsty because they had their potato chips,
So there's going to be deer on that side and
And
deer on this side.
environmental people on this side.
And so what if all the deer want to pick shelter?
Oh, that's
And
really-
there is no shelter.
and there isn't, what's going to happen then?
Then everybody who doesn't have a shelter dies and moves over to this side.
So is it like spread that?
So all the matches move over there and all the non-matches
All right,
move over here.
let's go.
You could try it and have.
So try that, sir.
Trying to find a steady state environment.
So let's play one round and then we'll have a better idea.
It's unexpected.
Your girls are ready for it.
You're in environment, right? Did I steal your pen? I'll give you that.
They stand here, they got them.
Doing it in here?
So we're gonna come out here. Less to trip over. So we have our deer over here, our environment over here. No elbows, no tripping anyone.
So as a deer, you like determine what you need.
Yes.
Yes, so the deer determines what they need, the environment decides what they want to be. So,
So we're all standing around being plants or water.
We have to choose what
You
we're gonna
guys,
be.
don't they
No.
turn
Deer
around
over there.
till
Yep.
You just stand still, they come find us.
okay, so year 0. How many deer we gonna have?
8? No, 7.
7.
7.
So this should be-
6, 8.
No, just that side is deer.
Okay, but that's important. Why would you count that too? So we have the deer
How many resources?
and the resources, the environment. Okay. So if everybody can face their wall,
Oh.
so nobody can cheat. Okay. Pick your sign. So everyone should pick either food, water, or shelter. And Once you have the sign, keep it held, and then turn around. 1, 2, 3.
Oh my goodness. I'll take you. Hi.
There's nobody left. We're all dying.
This is gonna happen quickly.
We're at toast, guys.
It's going to happen.
One deer is going to make it through next winter.
Well, two, right? 'Cause she's in the match.
Environment
That's true.
Yeah, there'll be 2 deer.
One deer's
Why-
gonna make
why
it
do
through
you
and make a
think
baby.
there'll be 2? Why do you
Because
think
she's
there'll be
gonna be a deer after the one person matches with her.
Oh, okay.
That's
So,
gonna be a baby.
Then all the deer are gonna die after that because there's no shelter or water.
There's nothing left.
Oh no, after we
No,
die, we go
we're
back
all
over there, we
environment.
recycle.
okay, so everyone turn around. Once again, I remind you, no running.
No bumping.
Shirley,
Deer can
Be
chant.
afraid. Be very
I
afraid.
know. Okay, Shirley can turn around, and then everybody else can turn around.
I'm done. Okay. We all die.
Right.
I'm fertilizer.
I feel like we need to play that Tomb Raider. Okay.
No.
Dun, 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 dun.
Circle of
Oh my
life.
God. Okay.
Please no. Please.
So in year 3, we had too many deer. We completely, now we have many more in the environment.
Hopefully you didn't just have 2 girls left.
Everyone, although deer, again, you don't need nearly as many men as you need women. Go ahead, face the wall, pick your signs. 1, 2, 3, go.
You can take more than that. You're really thirsty.
Take reserve.
Yeah.
Double.
1. Everyone face the wall. 1, 2, 3, go.
Right, I am fed.
You guys are way nicer about this.
They go.
It's getting trampled in the deer stampede here.
Yeah, really.
Yes. Okay. Everyone, 1, 2, 3, go.
Yay.
Alright, I'm going.
If you can't find, so Kate couldn't find that she needed, so she had to join the environment.
Okay.
So, let's see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
See a bad year coming, guys.
So we could have had up to 16, and this year we have 10. Okay, and you think it's going to be a bad year? Okay, let's try. 1,
It's gonna be a tough
2,
year.
3, go.
Scary on that side.
Oh, still a bad year.
So you're saying you're like a deer in the headlights?
Okay, everyone, 1, 2, 3, go. That was a good one.
Nobody chose over there.
I get to be a deer again.
Everybody that was happy.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, go.
We're using a spot.
You'll make it through.
Yeah.
Huh.
Okay.
Oh. Ooh. Foul.
Better pick
Okay. 1, 2, 3, go.
Ooh.
No water.
No water.
Drought.
Drought. Did that change our deer population?
How did you do?
Yeah.
There was a drought. Game's got to end. Okay. 1, 2, 3, go.
I'm not a deer. Not a deer. Okay.
Oh, die off.
2, 3, go.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, go.
That's a shelter. Yeah, okay. And I want water, that's you.
How luxurious.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, go.
Survivor.
I know.
The fastest.
Okay, one more time. 1, 2, 3, go.
Oh, losing.
Still. See if I can add.
Oh, boy.
Well,
Okay, everybody turn around.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, go.
That's right, I'm not supposed to go, you're supposed to go.
I gotcha.
Okay.
So
There was no
There was
nothing.
there was no food either?
There was no
Okay,
food.
sorry. No, nothing.
You're out of luck.
it looked like food.
Should have been.
I know there was
Way overcooked though.
Yeah, stood there with our.
So this is how we traditionally end the game, because forest fire would contaminate the water source. It would, and at least in that particular environment, the deer would have to move to another valley for the summer to survive, and then, or for the winter to survive, and then come back. So, and that way it actually ends. So let's just be honest. So just on your basic feel, going back and forth, we haven't made an equation, we haven't done anything. But what did we do? Did we do any math? Did we do any problem solving?
Differential equations.
And we'll talk about that.
Adding and subtracting, but.
And how could we have? We could graph it. Okay, let's go do that. Let's go in there. Great idea, Sandy. Were you up clear? So I'll give you the space. You have to tell me what you want to plot, though. I'll even give
Here's a partial of the graph.
you want to plot. The goal is to do as little as possible.
Little as possible.
how many cycles do we have?
As little as possible. Well, we
Well, I
have
didn't have to do all that math.
10 cycles? 10 cycles?
We have 15 cycles.
Probably is a way, easier way to do this. So the most deer we had was.
So there was 15 people playing. What's the most deer you could have had?
There were 15, we had 15, but we didn't have 12. Oh, 14. We should have had 14.
What did you say, 14 then?
Because there was 1% left.
Okay. So you remember it when we actually did it? We would be done with the game, but what could you end up with 15 here? Oh, okay.
How?
No, they're up, so somebody's.
Doesn't it just have to be Sandy. Somebody else can also help. You can tag team. You can just sort of pick somebody else to come out.
That's a good idea. Okay. That's swear. Oh, okay, we can do that. Yeah.
Can you call the number?
So your 2 is 2. So that's 0 and 1.
So it was first 0 was how many?
7, 14, 2, you're good. 4, 6.
While they're making a quick tangential thing, I thought I recognized this, but I've never seen it before, and that's because there's a logic puzzle called Oh Dear about Santa's 8 reindeer. It's a very, very hard logic puzzle. It's wonderful. It's on my blog if you want to find it.
Read off the point out loud.
7, your 0 is 7, 14, 2, 4, 6, 10, 10, 10, 10, 4, 8, 12, 6. Only 4 times out of 4 in a row, and then, that's good. Where was it? Okay, after the 4 tens, 4, 8, 12, 6.
Would you like
8, 12. That
you
should
have
be
the
6,
coordinates?
not
So
10.
do you maybe want a chart?
Mrs. 6.
I was just gonna make a list.
So did you get the email?
Actually, I get it.
You missed one?
Well, I started 0.
Started at 7.
There, after 12 is a 6.
6.
Those are 6.
10, 10, 4, 8, 12, 6. Yes.
I got another.
When was the drought? Is that like?
So I heard that we could do addition and subtraction, because that was sort of what was going on outside. Did anything else sort of go on? Graphing. Supply and demand, what do you say that?
Shortage of supplies and increases in demand.
We didn't actually use those words, but definitely I recall when we got to cases like this one,
Excess.
what was the sort of things that the group was commenting on at that point?
It's gonna be a lot of die-off next year.
There's going to be a lot of die-off next year. And when we got down to here, what was the group sort of feeling like? That we're gonna, that we're gonna grow, that we're gonna go when we had the drought, what happened there? We reduced the supply of one of the resources, and that definitely had an impact. So we're discussing, I mean, are these things that are gonna show up as part of what students need to understand?
This would be lovely for me needing a mode,
Why do you say that?
because your mode is not really, I don't know what it's about. Just bring some actual, real like, meaning to why they're different.
Okay, so mean being, what's the mean?
Average.
Average. And the median? Okay.
The most, what, how would you describe median here? The middle size?
Count the number of data points on the board. Those are the ones.
So what would we say the mode is right now?
Yeah.
Okay. Is that related to any of these other concepts?
Steady state.
Steady state. Okay, so I've heard this phrase thrown out there. What does steady state mean? For those of you that have worked with this sort of equation before, what is a steady state? Point of equilibrium. Does everyone agree with that definition? So can you expand on that a little bit more?
In terms of supply and demand, it's the point at which supply and demand meet.
Okay.
If this was a demand,
So supply and demand meet. Can you show me how the supply and demand meets for the steady state here? How would you show that for this? Other data to focus. It's related to that subtraction piece. Supply, what would the supply in our example be? Environment. So what did we plot here?
We plotted the year, but if we plotted the other,
Okay.
would be,
So can you remind me, what's this x-axis? What's the bottom line mean?
Your number of cycles.
I'm sorry, I'm a stickler for this. Which is completely ironic because I'm doing it. Dear. And what else can we label? What else can we add that would add more information and be related to these other questions, these other mathematical phenomena?
it had a secondary axis.
or you could on the same district, or not the same.
And plot what?
Yeah, the supply.
The environment. Do I have somebody that wants to be that? Please! And I'll match the color.
I just wanted to.
So there were, she said, 15 people exercise. So well, that's just where we started. So we also started. Well, there were setting here there were 8.
like about it is the understanding that they're on the same scale. That there is way, yeah. Okay. So based on this, so we now have our supply and our demand, and we've been talking about what a steady state is. And sort of can we appreciate now again sort of what a steady state may be in this context?
So when you, I was just gonna say, we have 10-year, 5 environment, then 5 of the deer will get their needs met, and 5 of the deer will die off. And when they get their needs met, then you have these 5 of the deer. So that's sort of what stays and stays.
It's pretty cool watching. I've never had it that perfect. Yeah.
So in terms of the point of equilibrium, it's the intersection of all those, if you look at the points of intersection, they're all around like 8, between 7 or 8, which is another way of thinking of the equilibrium point or the mean.
Right there.
Yeah, if you draw a line that's linking all those up and it's all occur right at that steady state.
If you had a deer,
Around, doing, our graph isn't totally perfect, right? So it's probably a little bit.
right, but if they all got their needs met, then the next year you'd have a ton, so you'd be bouncing like they were at the beginning. Seems like 10 is more of an equilibrium. I mean, I don't know what equilibrium means in this case, but
I think it's very much going to depend on the concepts that you've introduced to your classroom. And what I was more trying to focus on is that this is something that we can work on really with any level. We could do this with really, really little kids, and I think that it would be a great introduction to graphing and to trying to understand what the graphs mean, because they would have just lived these numbers. So to take away those numbers and sort of put them up, I think was what I got very excited about. Also, in terms of the steady state, I think that also is very much going to depend on what level of kids you're working with. With, I think, smaller students, I think they're going to understand sort of like that this is this place that this weird thing kept happening, right? Where there's this 10 and this 5, and when we're sitting in, if you have more students, if you're looking at more 30 students instead of 15, what's going to end up happening is these are the happy places. That when you stay in this sort of range, you stay in this range. But when you get a little bit too close to the boundary, when you get a little bit too far over here, that's when drastic things start happening. And you wipe out a whole entire population. Or you get completely overrun by water. And so we did this very quickly, and with I think an older set of students, you play more games and you can get closer to that sort of steady state understanding of supportive. This is the sort of safe mathematical area. We just stay in here, we sort of return back to that, and then we get to the extremes. And so maximum and mins are another concept that get really important.
So I just want to, your point's very good, and I'm thinking about it. I guess for me, when I'm thinking of steady state or point of equilibrium, I'm thinking about the expectation of how many deer we would expect given our cycles. So I would be expecting between 7 or 8 deer over time. If we extended this game out longer, that's about how much we get. We'd have swings, but that's where it would focus on. So that's what it kind of means to me.
but it seems, which is the halfway point between the top and bottom, right? There were 15 people and the 7 or 8 is the halfway. But the 10 seems to somehow, which is 2/3 of the way, somehow be like you can have more deer than environment and it'll be okay. So it seems like 2/3 of the way is more likely, but I don't know.
So I think more iterations will figure that out.
Yeah.
Now the other point I wanted to sort of come back to, so definitely just one second. So let's bring this back to the real world problem. Okay, so this was a really fun game. I think that hopefully some of your students would get a little bit of mathematical intuition for this. And maybe for the older students, what I want you to do is link this back to what the real world problem is. And that is, we have this cyclic system that if we did more iterations, what we'd sort of see is that we have this beautiful area in the middle, that when we stay in this area, we're okay. But when we go beyond it, and get closer to our maxes or our mins, that's when we sort of reach this critical state where we can lose our population. And what you're able to take and model with your students, if you have this advanced group, is to talk about the fact that this was what the model looks like for deer. This is what the model looks like for cows. And when they took out the cows and they took out the predators on the cows and the deer, what it basically forced the deer to do is it got into some of these danger zones. And the population exploded, and then they ran out of resources, and that's what killed the entire population off. And so that's what actually happened. And you actually experienced it, and mathematically, if we had more time to flesh this out, you would have this intuition that this was happening. That the closer, if you had 14 deer, all of you had the sense that something was not going on next time. Okay. What do we think?
So it may be beyond this group, I'm not sure. This is great. I can see doing something like this in algebra, hacking, geometry. But how do you bring something like this into calculus with differential equations? And how do you go from here
So you need to take and match. This is a sine wave.
Okay.
So then what happens as you actually take and put the sine waves in and talk about sort of different sort of amplifying, and you actually put the waves in and sort of talk about what happens when you push them up or amp them out, things like that. What happens when you add two sine waves together? Things like that. And that's what I've done with the more advanced students. And it's really, I guess even more so though, what you do is you give them the chance to use the math that they do, not so much calculus, but sort of relying back on what they remember from algebra, what they remember from geometry, and sort of taking that back out and using it. That's what I've only worked up to high school levels, and the calculus students that I worked with weren't ready to sort of model the different cues part, but they were ready to sort of see that it was a sine wave and try to use their algebra and understand the sine wave. Did you have more to add?
Mine's probably off topic, but it was very moving to me. Some people started singing a song that in a very lightweight way. I didn't know that song, but something about the circle. And but there's some songs like that that are very moving to me. I'm pagan, and you're not supposed to bring religion into your classroom, but the respect for the earth, the honoring of cycles, and seeing that we're all in everything together.
You're safe. You can use Circle of Life because it's Disney. So nobody actually gets that it might support that viewpoint.
But
You're
so,
safe with
you know,
that.
I know hoof and horn,
Disney film.
all that died shall be reborn, and I became fertilizer. And I almost wanted to like cry. It's so powerful to me. And so my son's in a holistic academy, and I'm going to show them this because this is the first time I ever saw math connected with my spiritual values. And so moving. So,
and
off topic.
no, I appreciate it. Mainly only just to take it to the other side of it, and that's that for some of your students that have never seen a deer before, you just really need to take and question this because they won't have that experience and they won't play this game. They'll be too cool to play this game. They'll walk like this. I'm a deer. Like and so that's where you really need to take and cushion it in an understanding of how it is part of the natural process and not try to push it too far if they haven't had that experience before. Because it can really they won't have that experience because they don't have any intuition for some of these animals. They don't understand sort of like deer do have this sort of 1 to 2 production rate. This is actually sort of mathematically correct in terms of how deer reproduce. and you're mainly modeling women there. So, yeah.
Well, this is sort of tangent to it's a different animal, but on the Futures Channel, it's a website that has little short videos about different careers that call math. They did a little video on prairie dogs, how they have almost become extinct, and they have a breeding center out in Utah, and they talk about how they can how they're bringing them back.
Oh, cool.
It's just short little blip
That's perfect.
related.
And I brought up the heifer example today also because they do have a Stockton as a heifer breeding site. That's where they, so if you want to cushion this in something not, I mean, Stockton is an hour and a half away. I drive there almost every month. So yeah, they have a breeding site where they raise a lot of the animals that are given out to these projects.
Well, and then they did out on Angel Island, they had a lot of imbalance in the culture out there between the deer and the actually sheep.
Well, and that's something that some of your students will bring up, and so just be prepared for that, I guess. Also, that's the more natural sort of situations. Again, depending on where you came from, I came from a place that definitely does more hunting than in California. So, yes.
There was a point when there was only one deer, is that correct? So you need another deer to.
So there's only one
Breed.
environment. There was
Oh,
only
I
one
thought-
environment.
Okay, and then the other